All right, all right. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord for another beautiful and blessed day. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm coming a little different in this video. So this video right here is for all producers and people who are working on their projects, their CDs, or whether you're a singer or mostly when you land tracks in engineering and producing music. I had a good question about doing this video, and I want to give a shout out to my man Romanuel 31. And first of all, what I like to say, man, is always, off top, keeping God first. But when you talk about producing, man, how you got to have a clear mind, how you have to be focused, and this is where your creativity really comes in. That and a lot of things, like you was asking me about some of those tracks on here. How do I come up with my music? And most of all, man, it comes from God. And but producing, man, having like I say, but having a clear mind is so important. And a lot of people, when they get to going in the studios and whatever, they rush what they do. Their mind is not set right. Their focus is completely off. They spend more time rehearsing in the studio than, really getting the job done and laying it down. Because, like I tell people, man, you don't go to the studio to rehearse. You go to the studio to get down to business and lay it down. Because when you're on that clock, hey man, them engineers, they don't play no games, and you'll see a whole lot of people, man, having fallouts behind, being in the studio. But like I was saying, when I was, like at this time I'm working on my project and how hard it is because a lot of people that say they have your back, they don't really have your back. But producing, man, and laying tracks take up a lot of time, man. They do. And if you got a lot of distractions around you, you're not gonna make it. I was talking to my sister Rock last night, and I was telling her how I check myself all the time. And I say one thing that I do to myself is say I'm not working hard enough. And I can be working pretty hard, and I tell myself you still not working hard enough. And I do that to keep myself motivated. And a lot of people say, man, you got a whole lot of stuff done. What are you talking about? I have to keep telling myself that I'm not pushing hard enough. I'm not working hard enough because I'm my own biggest critic. There is nobody harder on me than myself. Well, let me say that right, other than God. I am my biggest critic. I am very hard on myself. And even when I listen at my stuff, man, I be like, one thing about listening at your own music, you're going to always find something wrong with it. And it takes a while for you just finally say, I'm satisfied. Now I can go on and put this out to somebody else. It might be sounding like it's through, but they don't really understand what you are really dealing with when it comes to producing. And another thing that I do, man, I can get cards off of anything. I have learned and I have made so many tracks up off of a movie I was looking at. I could be sitting here in this room watching the movie and I'll pause that movie. And I'd be like, it could be a scene with somebody crying at or, somebody just, whatever going on in the movie. And I say, man, them some smooth cards right there. I take that concept and get those cards off of a movie. Or it could be a commercial. It could be a talk show. It can be anything. And I heard and I'd be like, I like that. I'm going to use that for a bridge. Or that'll be my intro on the song. And that's how I come up with a lot of different things. This is why JT is not stuck on just church music. I have learned so much, man, listening to all kind of music. And I take my creativity that God blessed me with. Man didn't give me this gift. It came from God. So I take any kind of, source that I see and I use it. And I put it together with what I already know. And even on YouTube, there's so many dynamic musicians on here, man. I have learned so much off of other musicians. And I say, man, I like those chords. And I add it with what like I say, what I already know. So this is how your creativity comes in so much good. It comes in handy because everybody can't produce. You got studio musicians. Some people just made strictly for studio musicians, and some are just made to just flat out play. And many, man, I know you and brother Cliff and PP Drones and a lot of y'all can probably relate with this video because when you come to talking about producing, most folks really don't understand how much time it take. And a lot of people keep asking me, man, when the CD gonna be done? And I guess people think it's gonna happen overnight, but they don't understand all the ins and the outs that you truly, deal with. And not to say that in a bad way that people, just don't know what what they be talking about. But it's just, you have to understand the time, oh man, it's such a process that you got to go through. And the things that I'm doing, man, like especially when you get to talking about doing everything by yourself, that is tough. I'll never get on camera and say that that is easy to do. That is tough, man, because you have to be the one to do everything. Being sometimes you just don't feel good. And I'm gonna say something that Stevie Wonder said years ago. And y'all know I love listening to different people that made it, and how they made it, and what did they do to get to where they are. And Stevie Wonder said something so powerful because he was talking about egos and how people ego will kill their music and how people don't want to listen at others, ideas, and how it will destroy them. And I thought about a man ego. He said your ego will kill your music. He said without creativity and music coming from your heart and God, that you don't have nothing at all. And I thought that was so powerful when Stevie Wonder said that. Even Quincy Jones, man, I love to sit back and listen at, the people that paved the way for so many and what they went through to get to where they are. And we all should know Quincy Jones, about Quincy Jones and some of the, the big time people that's been doing it for years, man, and how they have worked with so many different artists. And this is why I love, also time to time hooking up with my brother Mitty, man, because we can relate with so much with each other, not just being minister of music, but producers. And by him having Walker's music, excuse me, and he always say that in his videos, and he lets you know what he do. And I can, chat with Mitty, man, all day about producing because we are going through the same thing. And how, let me go off the wall with this. You're going to have to kick a lot of folks to the curve. And you have to have that side of you. See, we all got that humble side, but let me say this. You got to have that cold-blooded side of you, that business mind side of you, that side of you that's going to tell folks, you ain't going to run over me. And you have to be like that. And I'm talking about very hard when you messing with these gospel artists. You think it's easy? Nobody. It's tough. Some of the gospel artists can be some of the worst people in this world to deal with. I told y'all about that in the old video. When I was laying beats, tracks for all them, different type of rappers back in the day, and I started leaving rap alone and started messing with the church folks. Oh man, I didn't see no difference. I tripped out when I saw them come in smoking weed and getting high and forgot their music and just tore the studio up. I'm talking about the gospel people now. And I said, it's no difference. And one guy got mad at me for saying that in one of my videos, but I don't care. I tell the truth. The truth have to be told. When you produce, see, you are a producer. That's a gift. See, when God gave me that gift, he didn't just tell me to just produce gospel music. Because God is love. What about love music? What about people that get married? You don't want nobody marching down the aisle off of Jesus is Real by John P. Key. And God showed me so much through love music. That's why I can listen at the blues. When people had the blues, I was watching the story on Bobby Womack, man. It was rough. And that's why he could sing. And Mitty, man, I know you know what I'm talking about. And the little conflicts he had with Sam Cooke and the woman and all the stuff, the dope and the drugs, and people always want to point right there and say that's why them secular artists, they always fall down. But I can't tell you how many gospel people I know went through the same thing that the R&B singers went through. As a matter of fact, all of them come out of church. Just do the studying. And you always talk about, people sit around and just point fingers at secular music and the secular artists, but they don't even realize what's going on the inside of the church. And that, like you said, Mitty, man, in your video, everybody singing gospel don't love the Lord. Their heart ain't in it. Everybody's heart is not in it. So not to jump off into all that though, but when you are producing and then you got to lay down all the vocals, here's the other problem. Your voice will be up and down. It will be up and down. But and then when you are the one stuck like me, man, I don't get no break from singing. I sing pretty much 7 days a week. I don't have no rest with it, and I got to get better with that because I got to start letting my voice rest. But when you have to lay down that harmony, and you not feeling good. And then the other thing, some days you are ready to record and you just cannot get into it. Some days you just not gonna feel it at all. You're gonna just say, I can't get into it today. You have that feeling sometimes where it's nothing gonna go right. And you have to just go on and shut everything down and go free your mind, ease your mind, do something else. Try to come back the next day, the Lord say the same, and try it all over again. I have many nights like that. That's why I cut my phone off, and I tell people don't bother me. You know, one thing I loved and missed about my ex-girlfriend, she respected that. When I would tell her I'm gonna be gone, or even if I was laying music in my house, she would say, I'm not gonna mess with you today. I'm gonna let you focus. And you don't meet too many women like that. There's so many people, even fellas, there's so many people just stuck on themselves. Some of these people, man, men and women, want you to be around them 24/7 and be their shadow. And we don't understand that having space is a good thing in a lot of ways, because when you are apart from each other, it make you grow strong and love each other and miss each other even more. So, but another thing I do too to make up songs, I can be most of the thing that I do, most that I do is when I'm riding in my car. I'm always listening to that music, and I listen to my own music back to back. I've been doing this for the last maybe 10 years now straight. I listen to myself. I've been producing for a while now, and I've never put out no CD yet. And I'm always getting on myself, because really there's no excuse why I shouldn't have a CD out, and that's why I'm pressing hard, trying to finish in 2012. The Lord say the same. That is my goal, to get this project finished. And I'm to the point now where I am trying to get to the mixing side, and I'm still writing. I got a few more songs I have wrote already that I need to lay down, music wise, but I'm still writing because God gave me that gift to write also. And when I'm riding, like I say, when I'm riding down the street, I know this video might be boring to some people, but to those that have an ear, let them hear. When I'm riding down the street, like I say, I listen to my music back to back, and I hear so many things that I did wrong. Or I might not be fitting the piano. I need to, delete the piano, come back and put a Rhodes in there. But when I have my phone, then sometime when I'm riding, I cut my phone off. God put so much in my mind when I'm riding, I'll cut. Most of the time when I'm in my truck, I don't even ride with no music on. I keep my cell phone and a tune to come to me. And you know what I do? I got that voice recorder in this cell phone. I cut this voice recorder on, and if it's a tune, I'll hum it. That way I won't forget it. And when I get home, I have a new song. And I can hear all the parts in my head, the harmony, I can hear the intro, every music instrument, everything. And that's only God. That's why I say I can make up a track off of anything. And that's how my creativity is it's like that, because without creativity, you don't have nothing. You don't have nothing at all. And I don't want to be just, I like my music to sound live. I don't want that, loop-de-loop sound, and I love live music. That's why I kind of got angry when everybody fell off and didn't nobody want to help me out to all the people I have helped and played with and labored with and blood, sweat, and tears. And when it comes to doing your own thing, everybody got something to do. That's just how it is. So, but you can't let that stop you. You have to just keep on pressing regardless. And me and Brother Walker, we talk about that all the time. God gave me that vision, and he showed me. And even like I tell my own brothers, just cause y'all slow down and stop, I will leave y'all. I don't get caught up in stopping cause somebody else stop. And that's why I'm to this day by myself with pressing toward this CD and doing things right. A lot of people don't care, man. They really don't. If it's not benefiting them, they don't care. Another thing before I end this video I want to talk about is when you are mixing and how the speakers can fool your mind. Coloring the music, and you mean it, man, I know you know what I'm talking about. That's another thing that makes you take up so much time. Mixing takes a long time to do, people, because you have to, tweak this, tweak that, go through this, go through that. But that's like if I'm sitting in my room right here and I'm recording, these speakers sound so good, these stereo speakers fool my ears, and it's not the real true sound. And you have to get them low budget kind of speakers and different things to do what you need to do to get a good mix. So with that being said, man, that's what take up a lot of time too. So I'm going to end right here. Peace and be blessed.